Very good morning, students. Again, I am Sachin sir, presenting you another video class of financial accounting. In the previous video, we have discussed the specimen or format of preparation of trading account and profit and loss account. And unfortunately, in that video, due to lengthy, we could not complete the specimen or format of preparation of balance sheet. So today, in this video, we shall discuss this specimen or format regarding the preparation of balance sheet. As you know, there are three types of financial statements prepared under a business organization to determine the profit or loss of the business and also to disclose the financial position of the business. The first objective was to determine the profit or loss of the business, for which purpose we are preparing trading and profit and loss account. So, going through the short revision, I can tell you that when you prepare trading account, you record direct expenses on the debit side and direct income on the credit side. The result comes as gross profit or gross loss of the business. Same gross profit or gross loss is subsequently transferred to the next financial statement, that is what you call profit and loss account. If there is profit, you take it as a brought down on the opposite side, that is on the credit side. If there is loss, you take it as a brought down on the opposite side, that is on the debit side of the profit and loss account. Again, in profit and loss account, you put all sort of indirect expense on the debit side and all sort of indirect incomes on the credit side. Same, when you close the ledger account, that is your profit and loss account, the result is either profit or loss. That is called as net profit or net loss. So that net profit or net loss is again transferred to balance sheet. I have mentioned it in the last video at the end part, that the net profit or net loss that you determine or to calculate in your profit and loss account after having a proper comparison between the indirect incomes and indirect expenses, having gross profit or gross loss. So that result is either net profit or net loss, which is again transferred to balance sheet by way of either addition to capital if there is net profit, or by way of deduction to capital if there is net loss. Okay, so now we shall discuss the format of balance sheet. Okay. I have also told you that balance sheet is not an account, it is just a statement. So a statement do not have debit or credit side. You can just name it as the left hand side and right hand side. Okay, so in the balance sheet we are only going to write the different type of assets and liabilities, and we shall also discuss what type of assets and liabilities are existing in the business organization. Okay, so keep watch. Format of balance sheet. As you can write, trading and profit and loss account for the year ended particular date, that is 31st March 2020 if we take. So balance sheet is written as balance sheet as on 31st March 2020. You must be getting a objective question or MCQ regarding these two statements because I told you that trading and profit and loss account can be merged and prepared at once, and this financial statement is also called as income statement and balance sheet also called as a position statement. So the question is, income statements are prepared dash. It is a objective question. Either you get in the fill in the blanks or MCQ. The answer is prepared at the end. Prepared for the year ended 31st March 2020. You can take another 21, 22, whatever the year regarding your assessment year. Balance sheet. Balance sheet is a position statement prepared as on at a fixed date. That is why it is written as on 31st March 2020. Got it? Okay, so that is written trading and profit and loss account for the year ended the particular date or the end date. Here balance sheet as on a fixed date, that is 31st March of the next accounting year, where your accounting year ends. Okay, so now we shall discuss the format of balance sheet without wasting any time. So this is supposed to be your balance sheet, having two sides, like if you take the middle one, as this is the T form, and here is no debit side and no credit side. So left hand side is taken to be liability side. Left hand side is liability side. And another column is there, that is amount column. Likewise, in your trading and profit and loss account. The difference is that in the trading and profit and loss account, these columns are supposed to be the particulars column. Okay, and here this column is supposed to be the liability side on the left hand side and asset side on the right hand side. So again, here also amount column and here assets. amount rupees. And here also, likewise, trading and profit and loss account, since you prepare on the end date or a fixed date, there is no existence of date. And since it is a statement, and unfortunately there will not be any date column, no folio column. There will be only liabilities and amount column, assets and amount column. Now we should see how we can write the assets and liabilities. Okay. Actually, there are two ways of preparation of balance sheet. There are two ways of preparation of balance sheet. First is the order of permanence. I am writing here. First is the order of permanence. We shall discuss what these orders are all about. Second is order of liquidity. Order of liquidity. Please look carefully. I have told you that balance sheet can be prepared in two order. Okay, order means the sequence of presenting the assets and liabilities into your balance sheet, the financial statement or position statement. So there are two types or two ways or two order or two sequence of preparing balance sheet for a business organization. First is the order of permanence, which I am going to discuss. Second is order of liquidity. This will be also discussed, but it is not much difficult or much different from this order. It is somehow same only. But liquidity means those assets or liabilities that easily tender money or easily pay off money. So liquidity indicates about the availability of cash, as I have discussed earlier, that may be regarding the payment of cash or the receipt of cash. So liquidity focuses on that order where the liquid assets or liquid liabilities are written first. And order of permanence means it is written the way it is. Okay. So now we shall discuss the order of permanence of preparation of balance sheet. So the first liability is fixed liability. Fixed liabilities. Under fixed liability, the first item is capital. Okay, what is this capital? This capital is the fund that is invested by the owner or the businessman. So that exists in the liability side of balance sheet. See, according to business entity concept, we have known that owner and business are two different persons. So that means business is an artificial person, owner is a natural person, and in that case only we know that whatever the amount is contributed by the owner, that should be considered as a liability. Okay, whatever the amount is contributed by the owner to the business according to the business entity concept should be taken as a liability. Likewise, you take a loan from a bank and you tender it with paying interest. Okay, interest loan for per year. Same like when you receive something as a contribution from your owner, you name it as a capital. And since you and your business are different, you consider that capital as a liability, because when you prepare financial statement or when you record the business transactions, I have told you that you should consider yourself as the businessman but not the you should consider yourself as the business but not the businessman. Got it? Whenever you are preparing your financial statement or recording business transactions in any type of book of account, you should consider yourself the business, not the businessman or the owner. So being a business, you are an artificial person, so you consider that owner has contributed something to you, owner has given something to you. So for me, what it is? It is a liability that I have to pay my owner, including interest. So that interest is nothing but the profit of the business. That means the owner has given me the amount to invest in the business, to start up my business, and how should I return this thing to my owner? I should pay him profit time to time, and I should show him the proper and smooth flow operation of the business activities. So that is what, or that is the reason why, according to business entity concept, capital is considered to be as the liability. Okay. So since there is a lot of adjustments regarding the capital, we will write the capital amount in the bracket. I am not writing an imaginary figure, I am just taking it as a X. Okay. You can write whatever amount if you want. So capital is the fixed liability that is contributed by your owner. Why I have written it in the inner column? Because there are a lot of adjustments to come regarding the capital account. That means if there is profit, it will be added. If there is loss, it will be deducted. And also the interest on capital is paid to the owner, so interest on capital will be added. And also it is possible that the owner withdraws something, that may be the goods or cash, during the business accounting year. So those drawings reduces the funds from the business or reduces the capital. So that all adjustments will be also done in this capital account. So this is the reason I have written the capital account or the amount in the inner column. So please look carefully how the adjustments regarding to capital account is taken out. So the first adjustment if you take is if there is any drawings, so it will be deducted. If there is any drawings, it will be deducted. So I put the minus symbol. And if there is also interest on drawings, if owner withdraws some goods or cash from the business and you charge interest, so if there is a provision for it in the deed or in the law or in the clause that you allow interest on capital, so you can also likewise charge interest on drawing. So in that case, the drawings are deducted. That means interest on drawings will be also deducted. So next is interest on drawings. Then if interest on capital is allowed, then it will be added to capital account. Interest on capital. So these sort of adjustments that are regarding the capital account. After these adjustments, there are more adjustments like the final result or the final profit or loss that you carry out in your profit and loss account. Okay, when you prepare profit and loss account, after proper comparison between the indirect incomes and indirect expenses, you get either net profit or net loss. So if there is net profit, it is added to your capital account. I am underlining it for better understanding. So if there is net profit, it is added to capital account. You can write it as net profit brought forward. Okay, I have told in the last video that net profit or net loss are not written as carried down because they are taken to a statement, balance sheet. So I have written here brought forward, not brought down. Same goes with the net loss. If there is loss, you have to deduct the net loss from the capital account. After these all adjustments, nothing but you have to do is you have to put the final calculation in the outer column. This is the first item of fixed liabilities. Okay. First you have to take capital in the inner column. If there is any drawings, you have to deduct it. And if there is any interest on drawings, that is also deducted. And if you allow any interest on capital, that is added to the capital account. If there is any net profit, that is added. And if there is net loss, it is deducted. So out of these 3-4 situations, only 2 or 3 situations are coming because profit and loss do not come simultaneously, and this drawings and interest on capital also. Now there may be chances, but we cannot say that drawings will be there or interest on drawings will be also there. It is maybe possible. That is why I have written all the adjustments regarding the capital. So after making all sort of calculations, you should put the final amount in the outer column. So this is the first amount of example or item of fixed liability. There are also other fixed liabilities like long-term loans, or which you call as unsecured loans of a business organization. Then issue of debentures, Debentures are those bonds that are issued by a company in order to raise funds from the public. Okay, we shall discuss regarding the shares and debentures when we will be discussing about the company account. Okay, so debentures for as of now nothing but a bond or a document that is issued to the public, general public, for raising funds regarding which the interest is paid on the debentures to the public who are the debenture holders. Okay, so next, redemption of debentures. So these all are as the fixed liabilities that is existing in a business organization. Okay, so because of this space we could not complete the balance sheet here. I will continue it by erasing it. So before I rub it, please have a watch carefully. This is capital. These are the adjustments regarding capital, and I am discussing about the fixed liabilities. So then here it is long-term loans, issue of debentures, redemption of debentures. These are all the fixed liabilities. Now we shall discuss the opposite side of asset, that is fixed assets. And when we have discussed the payments, that is the expenditures, I have told you about the capital expenditure. And the capital expenditures are supposed to be those expenditures that are made on the fixed asset. You have noted in my earlier video that capital expenditure is nothing but the investment on the fixed assets. So there are a lot of fixed assets you can see like land and building, plant and machinery, then you have furniture, and fixtures, furnitures and fixtures. Okay, office equipments, these all are the fixed assets. Okay, so here it is fixed liabilities, here it is fixed assets. So these are the things that involve higher amount or bulk amount in a business operation. Same that happens with the fixed assets also. These are also invest a heavy amount or bulk investment to for acquisition of these assets. Clear? So now after we shall go for discussion of the next assets and liabilities. So I shall rub it to make it proper clarification because of the space. If you have any doubt regarding the assets and liabilities, you can ask me without any hesitation. Because of the space, it may be possible that what I write may not be visible. So don't hesitate and ask me if you have any doubt regarding this. So we have discussed the fixed liabilities and the fixed asset. We shall discuss the next liabilities and assets. See, I am discussing it simultaneously. That means I am not completing on the one side. I am completing a particular type of liability, then I am completing a particular type of asset. That we will do throughout the statement. Okay. Next is current liabilities. Current liabilities. Okay, here you write it as current assets. These are also called as liquid assets. I will tell you why I have written here liquid assets. I have mentioned that there are two orders of preparation of balance sheet, that is order of permanence and order of liquidity. So in the order of liquidity, nothing but the current liabilities and current assets are written on the front or on the top. Okay, that is the difference. Now I am following the order of permanence. But if you follow the order of liquidity for preparation of balance sheet, then nothing but the current liabilities and current assets are written on the top. After that, the remaining assets and liabilities are written. So that is what the two types of order of permanence and order of liquidity. There is no difference or another format for preparation. Clear? So we shall discuss the current liabilities. The current liabilities or the current assets refers to the short-term liabilities or the short-term assets, because fixed liabilities and fixed assets are supposed to be the heavier amount or bulk receipts and payments. These are shorter receipts and shorter payments. So I am writing the proper opposite. Likewise, we discussed fixed liability and fixed asset. We will discuss the current liability and current asset simultaneously. So it will have a proper distinction by identification of the assets and liabilities. So short-term liabilities, if you take, there are creditors. You know what creditors are? The persons or the suppliers who lend goods on credit to us. So here you can write creditors. Here the opposite will be existing, that is debtors. Okay, debtors means the person who take goods and services from you on credit and they provide us the goods and services on credit. So it is the opposite. Clear? Having a distinction. Then money lenders. Money lenders are the persons who give us the short-term loans. That means a shorter amount of loan without any collateral or security, and you have to pay them within a particular span of time. So see, here if there is money lenders, we can write here. You can write the debtors or customers only. There is no opposite of money lenders to whom you pay the money on credit. But it may be possible that in smaller business organizations, it may happen that you have a shorter deposit with some person. So we can write the smaller deposits. Okay, deposits with we can write short-term deposits. The opposite of money lender can be the short-term deposits. Okay, so it is not possible that the exact opposite will get for the every time. Look, creditors who lend you goods on credit, debtors who takes goods and services from you on credit. So this is opposite. money lenders supposed to be the persons who give you short-term loans. Short-term deposits refers to those deposits that you make deposit within a person, or you give a short-term loan to a person for getting interest in return. Here you pay interest in return, here you will get interest in return. Okay, here you will get interest, here you have to pay interest. So opposite. Then here bank overdraft. Bank overdraft. So do you know what is bank overdraft? Overdraft is referred to that amount that is the excess of your bank balance. Okay, it is the facility given by a bank or any financial institution to the regular or a renowned customer. That means you are not having that balance, and you can withdraw over your existing balance. That over of your existing balance is called as the overdraft facility that is given by your bank to you. So this facility is not given by every person. It is given by certain financial institutions and banks to their renowned and regular customers who are having current accounts, having lot of business transactions throughout the day. So this is a facility where a business or a businessman can withdraw over his existing balance. Okay. So the opposite of bank overdraft, if you take cash and bank balance, that is cash in hand and cash at bank. See, bank overdraft refers to the facility of withdrawing over the existing balance, and cash in hand means you are having cash at your business office, and cash at bank means it shows about your bank balance. So I think it is the opposite. Okay. Then the other one is bills payable. Do you know what bills are? Bills payable refers to a credit transaction. That means you purchase goods or services on credit and you cannot pay them immediately. So your creditor or a supplier just lends you goods on credit by drawing a bill upon you. So that bill acts as a payable for you. And according to accrual concept, payables are liabilities. And if you take it the opposite, here comes bills receivable. Here bills receivable. Okay. So bills payable is drawn by a supplier on you, and bills receivable means you draw a bill upon your customer when they take goods and services on credit, and to prevent the recovery of losses like bad debt, you draw a bill upon your customer. So that acts as the bills receivable for you. And again, the same according to accrual concept, since the payables are liabilities, the receivables are assets. And I told you by discussing accrual concept that those payables and receivables are different type of asset depending on the situation. So now you can know the bills payable is a current liability and bills receivable is a current asset. So these are the examples of current liabilities and current assets. And regarding this, if you have a doubt, you can ask me. Then we shall move to our next liability, that is fictitious liability. Fictitious liability. Do you know what the word fictitious means? I told you when we discussed about deferred revenue expenditure. Fictitious means something that does not have any physical form. Okay, these also represent the shorter amount of the business organization, that may be the assets or liabilities. But the term fictitious means that do not have any more existence, or that do not have any physical form. There are various transactions in business organization that do not have any physical form but involve shorter amount. This shorter amount involvement without any physical form are named as fictitious. And those assets or liabilities, especially assets that are of bulk amount or do not have any physical existence, are named to be as the intangible asset. So please have a proper distinction regarding this. When the business transactions are involving shorter amount and that do not have any physical form, existence, that are named as fictitious. And those assets of the business organization that are involving bulk amount or having a bulk investment regarding like that, but do not have any physical existence, that are called as the intangible assets. So now we shall discuss what the fictitious liabilities and fictitious assets are all about. You can come to this by discussion of the accrual concept too. Okay, in accrual concept, I told you about when expenses are not paid on due date, it becomes payable or it becomes liability. So that liability is called as fictitious liability. Okay, this is different and this is different, little bit different. When expenses are not paid on time, that becomes payable or liability. What kind of liability? That is fictitious liability. And when you do not pay your expense on time, what you name it as? Outstanding expenses. You name it as outstanding expenses. And what can you write the opposite of it? You pay your expenses before time. Here, the due date has arrived and you haven't paid your expenses. So that are named as outstanding expenses. So what could be the opposite of it? The expenses date hasn't been arrived or raised. We have paid the expenses earlier. So they are called as prepaid expenses. Okay. And another example of fictitious liability is, for example, you are a contractor and you have to construct a building. So the person or the builder who have paid you amount, he do not pay the full amount. For example, you are constructing a building worth 30 lakhs. So your contractor will pay you some amount for the laying down the foundation of the building and the start the production work and the building work. Okay, for that purpose it gives you some amount in advance. That advance amount may be considered like 10 lakhs or 5 lakhs. So that is what the advance amount. And you haven't completed the project. Building is not completed, but you have received the amount for laying down the foundation regarding the building or the startup work of the construction of the building. So in that case, the amount that you receive from your contractor is called as income received in advance, or you can name it as contract fees received in advance. So the fictitious liabilities, another example is income received in advance. Incomes received in advance. Okay. What is the opposite of income received in advance? You have received the income before delivering the benefit. That is income received in advance. What could be the opposite? Opposite is the income date has arrived, but I haven't received the income. So that what you name is as accrued income. What you name it as? Accrued income. Okay, and another fictitious asset that exists in a business organization, and that is what the example of deferred revenue expenditure I told you. It is preliminary expenses. What it is called as? Preliminary expenses. So the preliminary expenses are supposed to be that expenses that you incur for the formation or incorporation of your company. So it is the best example of a fictitious asset. So now look, current liabilities and current asset I have discussed in simultaneously: creditors, debtors, money lenders, short-term deposits, bank overdraft, cash in hand or bank balance, bills payable, bills receivable. And then next, fictitious liability, opposite the fictitious asset, that means the assets and liabilities that do not have any physical form. So outstanding expenses is supposed to be the fictitious liability, the opposite is prepaid expenses, and income received in advance, then accrued income and preliminary expenses. Have a proper look regarding this, that these expenses or the income that come under the liability because that are not cleared on the due date, not paid on due date, this is paid before the due date, and this is received before due date, this is not received even the due date is gone. So these are the transactions that are taken before or after the due date. So they are not cleared on the particular date that is to be cleared. So they do not have any physical form. It is said as fictitious assets or fictitious liability because these transactions are not taken on those dates on which date or on which due date they are supposed to be taken. Okay, so that is why these are named as fictitious assets and fictitious liability. And preliminary expenses, I have discussed in our earlier videos regarding the deferred revenue expenditure, why preliminary expenses is taken to be the fictitious liability, fictitious asset or deferred revenue expenditure, because these expenditures are made for the incorporation work of a company that is paid by your promoter, and those expenses are not having a proper form like a asset. That is why it is taken as fictitious asset. And there is another type of asset which is not having a type of liability, that is intangible assets. Okay, what you call as intangible assets. Intangible assets. These assets are not having any opposite liability. That means there is no any intangible liabilities. And when you have studied in type of account, that is personal account, real account, nominal account, under real account you must have discussed two type of real account, that is tangible real account and intangible real account. Tangible real account represents those properties which you can touch, feel and see. That is supposed to be your fixed assets. Okay, that are called as tangible fixed assets. And intangible fixed assets are those assets that exist in the business organization but you cannot touch, see or feel. Okay, so that is intangible assets. There are various examples like goodwill, then copyright, trademark. I am writing and giving a comma because no space. Patent right. So these are the examples of intangible assets: goodwill, copyright, trademark, patent right. Okay, we shall discuss these terms when we will be discussing about the amortization. Till then we will discussing about the intangible assets now only, like this only. When we will discussing about the cost of amortization or depreciation, I shall tell you the detail about what these intangible assets speak about. Okay, so now you can see that goodwill, copyright, patent right, these are supposed to be your intangible assets of the business organization. There is only one asset and liability left to be written in the balance sheet, that are contingent assets and liabilities. See, the contingent assets and liabilities are usually not shown in the balance sheet. That are given as a footnote bottom of your balance sheet or any financial statement, because there is a provision that in contingent liabilities or contingent assets are not shown in the book of account. There are various examples of contingent assets and liabilities, like if you take the example of contingent liabilities, that means any court case pending. Okay, like means you have sold a goods to your customer and there is a defective and he wants to return it but you refuse to take the return and he filed a case on you. So that case pending in the court, so that type of cases are supposed to be the contingent liability, because you do not know what the hearing is about to come regarding in your favor or in his favor. Or the another examples of contingent liabilities are like provisions and reserve, the provision for bad debt, the provision for discount of debtor. When we will be discussing the final account problems, I shall tell you about these contingent liabilities in detail. But these contingent liabilities are not shown in the financial statement, means balance sheet in the liability side. They are shown by way of deduction from the respective asset. How? I will tell you when we will be discussing the final account problems. And if you talk about the contingent asset, there are not much contingent assets. See, contingency means anything that can happen in future and we do not know about it. Those discrepancies which may take place but we do not know about it. So that is what the contingency speak about. So contingent assets are like that only. Suppose you have purchased goods from your creditor and it is very defective and it is not according to your specimen or your order, and you want to refuse or you have to return it, and your supplier or creditor refuse to accept your returns and he do not refund you the amount. In that case, you can file a compensation claim or case against your supplier for the return of the goods and compensation. Okay, in that case, those cases pending in the court are supposed to be the contingent assets. And as you know, these type of things are rarely existing in a business organization. So these type of assets and liabilities are not shown in the book of accounts. Okay, so this is what all about the format of assets and liabilities regarding the balance sheet. We have discussed about the fixed asset and fixed liability, and current liability and current assets, fictitious liability and fictitious asset, then intangible assets. So I will write it as a short so you can know the proper format. Okay. Due to this space, I have to write like this. Please sorry for that. If you have face any problem regarding this, but no issue. You can ask me any queries regarding this if you cannot post or you cannot understand how to write these assets and liabilities in a balance sheet. Okay, I shall send you the pictures regarding how to post assets and liabilities. Okay. So now, as a whole, I am writing without giving much example how the assets and liabilities or the different type of assets and liabilities are posted in a balance sheet. Here you are supposed to write the fixed liabilities, that is you write capital or long-term loans. Here you are writing fixed assets. That is your building, machine, furnitures. Okay, then you are writing here current liabilities. Under current liabilities, you write here creditors, bills payable, bank overdraft, money lenders, etc. And under current assets, you write various types of assets like the most important current assets are stock, that I forgot to mention, stock, debtors, bills receivable. You can write it as B/R and you can write it as B/P. Then cash and bank balances. These are supposed to be your all sort of current assets. Okay. Then we have discussed about the 50 days liabilities. Liabilities are the liabilities like outstanding expenses, then income received in advance, and here 50 days assets are what are the 50 days assets? Opposite of the 50 days liabilities, that is accrued income, prepaid expenses, preliminary expenses. So these are your 50 days assets. And the last we have discussed here is intangible assets. So what were your intangible assets? It represents to those assets that exist in the business organization but do not have any physical form and also cannot touch and see. So those were the intangible real account balances like goodwill, copyright, patent right, etc. And also there are some contingent assets and liabilities that have been discussed. Okay, because that are not shown in the book of account. So I shall tell you while preparation of final accounts how certain contingent liabilities are shown by way of deduction from the concerned asset. As of now, we know that there is no provisional clause regarding the presentation of contingent liabilities or contingent assets, because contingent means that may take place in future, we do not know about it. So basically that are not shown in the book of accounts. So this is how you write the assets and liabilities in different form. I have written the examples also here. First of all, I told you the detailed discussion of assets and liabilities with the proper distinction in the opposite part, and now I have written just as a whole how the assets and liabilities are posted. So again, if you have any query or any doubt regarding this thing, you can easily ask me. Okay, without any hesitation, and it will be very pleasant, and I would love to help you. Okay, till then, stay tuned and encourage us. And if there is any problem, if there is any suggestion, I would love to hear it from you. Please give a suggestion to improve our classes or to help you serve better. Okay.